All right. So we've got everything. All right. Hey, parents, as you know, my name's Graham Matthews, and I run Empowered STEM. And Empowered STEM is an online course boutique. We offer online courses in A-level chemistry, biology, physics, and maths for those students that want to attend medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen universities in the UK. So, just thought I'd pop in to the live stream here. The team tells me that we're on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. So, whatever you're watching this live stream, I just want to say hello, welcome aboard. All right. And of course, I'm going to answer a question. All right. So, the question that we get is this: it's always in some different form every year, every quarter, every month, every week, every day. When we're talking to parents, the question is this: Graham, yes, how can I help my teen answer the difficult questions in A-level chemistry? Doesn't matter what it is, biology, physics, or maths. Let's just use A-level chemistry. How can I help my teen answer the difficult questions in A-level chemistry? Because what seems to happen is this: well, they get the easy questions, then they kind of try the medium type questions. Yeah. But then when it comes to the hard questions, they just seem to give up. And I see them looking at the mark scheme, and then they tell me, yes, but you know what, mom, dad, well, it's what you do. You just look at the mark scheme. I'm just looking at the mark scheme just for some ideas, just to see if I kind of got it right. Maybe I can learn something from the mark scheme. I don't think that this is the way to go with doing this, Graham. And unfortunately, the grade is dropping in the class. So, what would you do? I said, oh, well, this is a good question. All right, so here we go then. All right, here's my answer to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the standard response, throw that out, take the answer, what I think it is, and tell you about it. Okay, here it is. To answer the question, what I think of is this, is I think every day when I get up, one of the very first things I do after morning coffee is I work out and I listen to motivational speeches, pump up music. And the one that seems to be rather popular these days is David Goggins. And he had a brilliant explanation of this because they asked him this. They said, David, how do you keep going through all the adversity? When the odds seem stacked against you, how do you keep going? Where do you find this mental resilience to keep working at it? To keep going, to keep pushing yourself through the difficult times until you reach your goal and then you go beyond your goal. How do you do that? And he had a brilliant answer. He said, it's like this: look, imagine that your mind is like a car, and inside the car, there's two people, the inner critic and the inner advocate. And the inner critic is the one driving the car. It's in the driver's seat. And the reason is it's because scientists tell us that we have 60,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of them are negative. So the inner critic is in the driver's seat of the car, and this is the voice in your mind that tells you, oh, you can't do this. It's too difficult. Are you sure you want to do this? Oh, go on. Let's skip for today, is it? In other words, it's the one that convinces you that you can't do it. It's a negative response in your mind. He said, in the back seat, sometimes for some people, it's in the trunk, hog-tied and duct taped, is the inner advocate. And the inner advocate is that voice that tells you that you can do it. It does believe in yourself. You can go the extra mile. Okay. He said, and so in your mind, there's this battle between the inner critic and the inner advocate. The inner critic is the loud one. The inner advocate is the quiet one. So what you got to do, he said, is that you've got to turn down the volume on the inner critic and start challenging it, and then turn up the volume on the inner advocate and start supporting it. So in the end, the inner critic is the one in the back seat or hogtied in the back of the car with duct tape on its mouth, and the inner advocate is the one that's driving the car. He said, this is what I do. And I thought about this, and I thought, you know what? This is a really good example, a really good way of explaining it. Because what happens, parents, is this, is when your teen is doing the homework set, the past paper questions they get from school, what happens is this, is that they can do the easy ones. Yeah. The medium ones, possibly. When it comes to the difficult one, the challenging one, what happens is this, is in a split second, the inner critic comes in and says, oh, you can't do this question. It's too difficult. Your teacher never showed you how to do this. What are you trying this one for? Why didn't you skip this question? Oh, you know what? Why don't you have a little look at the mark scheme? Go on. Nobody will know. Have a little look at the mark scheme. Tell yourself that, you know what? You're just learning from the mark scheme. You're just seeing how they would say it. And then you go, yeah, okay, close enough. Yeah, I would have said that. If I had written the answer down, that's what I would have written myself. Okay. The problem with that, parents, is this, is that it is a crutch for your teen. And what happens is this, is every time they come across a question which is difficult, they're going to start going down the path of always looking at the mark scheme. Just saying, yeah, you know, sure, I would have done it this way myself. Absolutely. And from neuroscience, what we know is this, is that the neural pathways in your mind actually become stronger every time you do something, the same thing over and over again. You form the habit, the bad habit of looking at the mark scheme. And so what happens is that your teen, well, they get stuck at the grade that they're at. On the other hand, this is another way of looking at it, a different perspective. On the other hand, let's take a look at what happens with students that are enrolled in our courses, okay? Because we also teach the inner critic and the inner advocate theory as well, okay? Because we know it's part of building mental resilience. We know it's part about building mental confidence, okay? It's this, when our students are doing a homework set by the tutor, or maybe they're doing a homework set from school, past paper questions. When they come down to the difficult question, they go, right, the easy one, yes, I got that. Confident I can do that. The medium type question, yeah, I can do that. Okay, got that one. When they come down to the difficult question, what they say is this, they have the same split second in their mind when the inner critic goes, oh, go on, you can't do this one. You did learn this one from the tutor, didn't you? This is a difficult question. Oh, do you want to skip it? Well, why don't you go look at the mark scheme? But our students do this. What they do is they say, no, I'm going to purposely ignore the inner critic and I'm going to listen to the inner advocate. Because the inner advocate for our students, it's not in the trunk, hogtied and with a duct tape on his mouth. It's not on the back seat either. It's driving the car. So our students listen to the inner advocate, and the inner advocate tells them, you know what? You can do this. Absolutely. You can do this question. You know how to do this question. You've seen it before. And if you haven't, well, let's go break it down into steps. Let's look for the the command words. Now, what exactly are they asking you to do? Now, have a think of the mind map. Okay, all right. Any concepts, any subtopics come to mind? Okay, what about some formulas? Can you write down some formulas? Right, brilliant. Okay, so now can you start to think critically and start to problem solve and start piecing a few things together? Now, what happens with our students is that they actually look for the difficult questions. They want the difficult questions. You know why they want the difficult questions? Simple, because what they know is this, is that they don't want to stay inside the circle of sameness. One of my coaches used to call it the circle of sameness. They don't want to be inside the circle of sameness, just doing the same old thing, never learning anything new, just being really comfortable where they are. Why? Because they know that the A and the A star lies outside of the circle of sameness. And what they have to do is they have to start walking out of the circle of sameness, maybe through some difficult times. You have to learn something new. Don't get it right the first time until all of a sudden they're now at the point where to them an A and an A star becomes normal everyday activities to earn on a test or an exam. Now, something else that I think of is this one. I heard this one a while back. It's really, really good. It's known as the transcendental rep. Okay, so obviously, keep in mind I work out every day and I lift weight. And let's say that I'm doing today's chest day, and I'm doing the dumbbell chest press. Right. And I've got to do 10 reps. Do you know what is the most important rep for me to do? It's the 11th rep. You said, well, hold on, Graham, I thought there was 10. Right. On the 10th rep, when your arms are shaking, you can barely hold the dumbbells anymore. You feel completely physically fatigued and just wiped out. The 11th rep is the most important rep because this is the rep that you do when it is pure mind over matter. It's pure willpower. And what you're doing is you're forcing yourself to have a new normal. So when you do the 11th rep, what happens now is that for you, doing 11 reps at that weight is the new normal. And you've also trained your mind. As David Goggins would say, you've calloused over your mind to be able to accept that bit of suffering in order to get to the 11th rep. It's known as the transcendental rep inside bodybuilding. And it's where you go beyond the physical into the mental and the spiritual zone, because now you're starting to get into the point where you're now starting to condition yourself mentally as well as physically. And so for our students, the most important question is the transcendental question. It's the question when they're looking at it thinking, oh, I'm done. I got one more question. Right? Let me look at this question. Oh, this is a difficult question. Right? I can do it. I'm going to muscle my way through it. You know what? I haven't seen this type of question before. I don't have any prior experience. I can look at I can think of my mind map. I can put down formulas. I can start to piece things together. What I can do, parents, is I can start to problem solve. I can start to develop critical thinking. And so what I can do is I can start to callous over my mind and all of a sudden start to flex my A-level chemistry muscles. So it's just like in bodybuilding. The next time you do it, add on a 2.5-pound plate next week. Do an extra rep. Same thing with A-level chemistry. Because our students are used to doing the more challenging questions, once they get the more challenging question, what they do is now they start actively looking for challenging questions. We call these the A-star questions. They start looking for them. They want them because it's always a case of, I can do this one, I can do this one, I can do this one. And the chemistry muscles, the chemistry knowledge begins to get bigger. All of a sudden, they've got a really solid set of chemistry knowledge. They know how to problem solve. They know how to think critically. And they're beginning to move out of the circle of sameness and transcend it until all of a sudden, they're the type of A-level student that would earn an A in year 12 or an A-star in year 13. Okay? Now, look, parents, I know this is a different approach and a different answer to the one that you're thinking about because, everybody thinks about mark schemes. But on this one, look, if what I'm saying to you, parents, in these live streams, it doesn't matter if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, if this is being spliced by the team and put into a YouTube short or a Facebook story or a TikTok, whatever it is, look, if what I'm saying to you makes sense and you think, you know what, Graham, I like what you talk about. You seem to resonate with me. You seem to understand the challenges that I'm having with my teen, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, the problems that I'm facing with my teen, trying to get them through A-level chemistry, biology, physics, or maths. If this is you, what I need you to do, and you want to learn more, well, then reach out to us. And it's really easy to do. Look, parents, it's really easy to do. All you got to do is this. Come over to Facebook. If you're on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, whatever, come over to Facebook, leave us a message, and a member of my team will reach out to you today. And what they'll do is they'll explain to you, it's a really easy conversation that you have, by the way, with a member of my team. It's really easy. What they're going to do is that you'll tell us about how your teen is doing in A-level chemistry, biology, physics, maths, whatever. What their grade is, what challenges they're facing, okay, what problems they need to overcome. And then you tell us, well, this is the grade that they want to get, that I know they can get. This is the university that they want to attend. This is the top choice university. And this is what they want to do. Medical, dental, veterinary, financial engineering program, okay? You tell us this. And then we explain to you how our courses at Empowered STEM work. And the blueprint that we follow and the pathway that we put your teen on and how we can easily help your teen earn an A in year 12 or an A-star in year 13 by moving the mark book grade up from where it is in the mark book grade up to their predicted grade, up to the aspirational grade, up to an A in year 12 or an A-star in year 13, so that they can be competitive candidates for the medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen university in the UK. All right. So, hope I answered the question on this one, parents. All right. Everybody have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.